Hi Virgo, this is Carrie at wooingnature.life. Hope all is well. This is your March reading for 2020. I'm excited for everybody because the full moon that's coming in on the 9th is bringing some really fantabulous energy that deals with accepting the harvest, expecting the harvest, and giving thanks for the harvest. So it is harvest time, even though it's not the fall like we think about harvest being in the fall. And because there is implications about wealth and health and healthy thinking around your wealth and abundance and all of that comes up, I've decided that I would pull a card from the money and the law of attraction cards for everybody, and then I'm going to jump into the regular reading with the Sun and Moon Tarot because of that moon energy that is coming in so strong. So if you want to know more about the astrology of March, and particularly the astrology centered around the full moon phase that's coming in on the 9th, then you can check out the full moon view, and from there it'll give you a better sense of where you fit into that. And if you want to know more about how you fit into that scheme and how you fit into the lunar cycle, you can get a personal full moon reading between March 2nd and March 9th. So go ahead and schedule those right away because they book up pretty fast. All right, so the first card, which comes from the Law of Money and the Law of Attraction deck, is an interesting, I like this card. I'm looking at it visually first just to get an intuitive sense of what's happening. But I'm seeing this heart-shaped space around the solar plexus chakra. Now your solar plexus deals with it's your energy center. It's where your will, where your desire and your power is stored. And so there's she's holding a heart around that. So to me that says for you to give a little love to your solar plexus chakra. Think about your will, strengthening your will, and thinking about your own inner personal power. That's really important. So the message, and then from there, let me show it to you. I'm looking at it, but I'm not showing it to you. Then if you look at it, you see all of these, it looks like confetti to me, or stars, or points of light, or something like that that's coming from that place. So to me, your point of light, or your ability to connect out or make the connections beyond yourself, really is dependent on your willpower and your power in general, or your power perspective. So the message says, I can earn money by doing what I love to do. And so I'm thinking about I'm thinking about your will being connected to what you love and what you desire, which isn't at all straying from what the solar plexus is all about. Because if you're doing what you love, then you are energized by that, you are empowered by that, and you don't feel like you're struggling quite so much. So I'm going to read this passage on the back because these cards come with they have a theme, and then they have a passage on the back. It says, as you practice your more positive, better feeling story, in time your pleasure will become the dominant vibration within you. So pleasure and things that bring you pleasure. And then as you couple your pleasure with your means of earning, the two will blend perfectly and enhance each other. So Virgo, doing what you love is really going to bring you the abundance that you are looking for. Don't think about how lucrative it is, or how popular it is, or whether or not you think you can live or sustain yourself from it. The sustenance and you sustaining yourself really comes from your power place, which is your will, which is your desire, and which is the place where you are pleased, or where you're doing something you enjoy. There is no better way, it says, to earn money than to do things that you love to do. Money can flow into your experience through endless avenues. It is not the choice of the craft that limits the money that flows, but only your attitude toward the money. So this is something for you to think about as the full moon comes in, and you're giving gratitude and giving thanks for what you have already put down, what you've already accomplished, and whatever seeds you've planted toward doing the things that you love. You'll want to really honor yourself and honor the moment in that. Okay? All right, so we are going to jump right into, excuse me, I'm having all kinds of things going on with my sinuses today, so don't mean to snort at you. It is what it is. All right, so I'm going to jump right into the Sun and Moon Tarot. This is a wonderful little deck, quite innocent and childlike and playful. Sometimes tarot decks are kind of heavy, but this one is not. And I really wanted to lighten up the mood a bit and give you all some positive energy for March. So I've got the Prince of Swords here in reverse. I'm seeing with the eagle here in the image that there's some leadership action that needs to take place. I'm thinking that this is leadership within yourself. If we go back to the card that you had about your desire and about your joy and knowing and understanding that aspect, then to me this says it's time to lead yourself. It's time for you to stand at attention to yourself and say to your higher self maybe, what is it that I need to do? How can I serve you? How can I be of service to my higher self? And let that that leadership come in. With the Prince of Swords, this relates to the Knight in the regular tarot, and Knights are phases of development for you. It means that, you know, you're strong, you're growing, you're almost there, but the Knight really means that there's still some levels of growth that can happen. You can advance to the Queen position, and you can also advance another level to the King position. So right now, Virgo, the thing to think about is how you are going to honor your highest self and how you are going to going to serve your highest self and your highest good. Again, if we're talking about the power of the will and the willpower, when we talk about willpower, we think of one thing, but when you think of it in terms of the solar plexus and the energy center where the will comes from, and that being a power source, then it really is about knowing yourself and honoring yourself and doing what it is that you are driven to do from a soul level, from a gut level, literally. All right, we're going to continue to look to see what else Virgo needs to know for the month of March. What else does Virgo need to know for the month of March? All right, Virgo. Once again, we've got a Princess card. Princess cards relate to the pages or the swords. This is the Page of Swords. In this card, in the upright position, I see this really sassy gal who is basically telling people to kiss her butt, and she's moving forward with that, and that in and of itself is a transformative process. That transformation I see right here in the with the image of the butterfly. You're standing on a cloud, which means you're getting on top of your thoughts. You're getting on top of your thinking. You are hearing your thoughts and saying, okay, where does that come from? Is that really a part of me, or if that's some message that's been coming from outside of me? And then how do I change that if it needs to be changed, or how do I develop it, or how do I continue to move that thinking forward if it is a positive thought? This did come in reverse, so it tells me that you need to think about that and to work on that area. That's an area that you need to focus on. Again, leading yourself, not being led by somebody else and not leading anyone else, but actually leading yourself. We've got the Tower card in reverse here. The Tower for me is about when you're trying to build, but then something comes along to tear it down. You're trying to get something done, but then something else comes along and says no. This is a divine thing. This is not this isn't just, you know, the universe trying to jack with you or something like that. It really is happening because wherever it is you're headed is not going to be beneficial to you in the long run. So these outside things that happen to kind of thwart your progress or impede your progress, they're not blocks or They're not blocks in the traditional sense, like you feel like energy is being blocked or somebody is trying to block you or your mind is trying to block you. It could with the Tower card, because this is internal work as well when it comes in reverse. But for me, whatever it is that's impeding it, it's doing it so that you can take time to examine more closely what it is that you're doing and really make sure that it is aligned with your purpose, that it is aligned with your true desire. Okay? So don't get mad about it if that those things happen. Just take a pause and say, okay, what is this situation trying to tell me about how I'm moving right now? You know? Well, we have the Empress upright. We have a blooming, blossoming person. I see her sitting on the moon. This is actually a crescent moon. So we're thinking like after the full moon or right before or right after the new moon is where you want to kind of focus your attention right now. There is growing, there is growth, there is budding. The spring is coming. When the spring comes, you can expect to see that. And then I also want you to see that there's a connection happening between you and some other people. And I think that the Spirit wants you to see that. I'm seeing that in the trees here. There's two trees that are kind of encircling this woman who is very pregnant with ideas, or pregnant with possibilities, and there's a connection here that needs to be made, and that connection is what you would like, what you may want to focus on or have some level of focus around. The moon, and as well as Pluto, the Pluto energy, I believe it is, that is happening in March, favors partnerships, and Pluto has been favoring partnerships in its degree status in the past few months or so. So partnerships are good. They're a little more difficult. We've been doing some solo acts out here and trying to go on our own, and that's fine too, because you got to know yourself before you start partnering with somebody else. But partnerships are going to help you gain momentum and get some groundwork going. But you also want to make sure that those partnerships are in alignment with your desire, with your higher self as well. And then we have good movement. Chariot always represents movement. Things are happening, things are moving. I see that happening after the spring. We have the equinox coming in around the 21st of March. And so after that is toward the end of the month is when things should loosen up for you a little bit, but more particularly after you have done this work that we talked about before. When you start honoring yourself, saluting yourself, and respecting your process, your personal process, and saying, to heck with everybody else's stuff. I'm going to move forward with what I know to be true from my center point. Okay? So that's good. That's good information. Very good information, and a very good plan for March. I'm just going to ask the cards one more time if there's anything else for Virgo for the month of March. Anything else for Virgo, month of March? Yeah. So, yeah, this is the Nine of Swords. This is getting things off your mind, taking away some of the worryation and the stress that comes with trying to figure it all out. Virgo, we know you're really good at figuring out and analyzing things, but this time it's about not doing that. It's really going to the gut and going to the core. Get out of your head a little bit and into your solar plexus, okay? You're not up here, you're here. It's gut level, intuitive. My gut says this is what I should do. And then, of course, meditation and prayer will help you see more clearly how you relate to that. I'm seeing good movement for you. If things are not moving, it's because that's not the way. And this energy right now is very finite and it's refining. So it might be little tiny details that you may be missing that you'll need to focus on. Okay? I see a King of Pentacles here in reverse. That means that it could be you, or it could be somebody around you as well. Somebody who may be focused on the material, or maybe you're focusing on the material. aspects of things. And again, we are talking about money and abundance and how you see that and how you're connecting with that. I feel like this goes along with this Tower card in reverse, and I think it has to do with the way that you're thinking about how you want, thinking about your earning potential, and how you're thinking about the way that the money has to come in for you. I want you to do away with that thinking. For the month of March, I want you to step away from thinking about it, and I want you to just go with what pleases you. I want you to think about what brings you joy, and I want you to focus on your third chakra during the month of March. And I think that what's going to happen is you just taking your mind off of your financial situation, or you taking your mind off of your work situation and focusing that attention on your desire and your will is going to inform the decisions that you're going to make moving forward. Okay, Virgo? So that is your reading for the month of March. If you want to touch bases with what's happening astrologically around that full moon, I've been recommending that for every zodiac sign because there is some powerful energy coming in right now, and you'll want to tap into your lunar cycle if you can. So take a look at the full moon view so you'll know what's happening with that. And then if you want to find out how you're syncing with that, you can get your full moon reading March 2nd through March the 9th. So I am scheduling that. You can schedule yourself on Facebook. If you like or follow Facebook, you can book yourself there at the top of the page, or you can go through the website at wooingnature.life. All of that information is in the description box below. And as always, I hope you have a great day and a wonderful life.